Okay. Right, let's talk to these dwarves since they've suddenly appeared with us.
Ah, it's good to see you, my timely rescuer. Bodon Fennec at your service once again. Now, before you say anything, I do recall that your business is private.
Yep.
But I saw your camp and couldn't help but stop. Is there anywhere safer to sleep? I think not. I'm perfectly willing to offer you a fine discount for the inconvenience of our presence. How does that sound? Good? Yes?
I'm wondering whether these guys will just stick around the camp the entire game. If you say yes. So they're like just merchants you can have all the time, which is a neat idea. You know, I quite like that. I don't know whether it's going to happen or whether this is going to be here until we get somewhere else, or just tonight. Have you been following me? I'm going to be a little bit wary here of strangers. I think, being quite addled with recent events.
Following you? I'm not even certain where you're going, my friend. And quite frankly, it's none of my business. Trust me when I say that my encountering you here was serendipity and nothing more. I travel a lot, so I'm bound to meet everyone on the road eventually. If you prefer, I'll take my boy and be on my way. But regretfully, you're the safest spot on this road, without a doubt.
Yeah. Let's see what they're selling.
Anything, everything, but all of the finest quality. No cheap trinkets here. And my boy Sandal happens to be a bit of a hand with enchantments. Oh, yes.
Oh.
Sadly, it also makes us a target for bandits and the like. If there were spare hands to hire as guards, I would have done so long ago.
But you just happen to have bundled into my camp because you don't have any guards, huh? No cheap trinkets either. So, like, more expensive equipment. Let's have a look, actually. Let's have a look.
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected. And with your discount.
My discount. Marvellous. So what do we got here? Some crunches and such. Health poultices. Concentrator agent. Ah, yeah, distilling agent. So this is for alchemy and such. Flasks. Ooh. 1 point to spend on a talent or spell, but is rendered useless afterwards. Oh, skill books. But look how expensive they are. I have 3 gold. I don't know it's not gold, but it is. It's gold. Yeah. Plus defense and reduces hostility. That'd be really nice for one of us. But look at the prices. Look at the prices. Yeah, that's a very nice axe. That's a very nice axe. That is. A war axe. So what I'm getting from this is that +2 constitution. I've been told to get more constitution actually. I may well buy that. I can afford it. But what I'm getting from this is that these guys are going to stick around my camp for most of the game. Because these things, I mean, there's no way you could afford certain things in here, like at this stage of the game. I don't care like how good you are at the game, and if you sell everything, I don't think there's any way you could possibly at this stage in the game get 13 of these gold thingies, or 87 for that matter. Bloody hell, that's a nice. Oh, that's lovely. So I just think that this is a constant now. Now that we've accepted them into the camp, they're just going to be here forever. What? Alistair doll. It's a gift. And free. I'm looking at these and saying these are added later in the game. This could be the feast day gifts and such like that, possibly. But yeah, these are definitely unbalanced since they're free and they're gifts, and they happen to just be, a butterfly sword. Yeah, I'm just thinking, a chastity belt. They're not entirely law-abiding, serious items, these. So I'm thinking these are just, a pet rock, for example. These are just added later to make the game easier, probably. So I'm not going to bother with them. Sugarcane, no. Manual for a ranger. Backpack, but again, can't afford that. Let's have a look up here at these. Were they boots or what were they? +2 dexterity. Good for the archer, but I don't know whether I'm going to be keeping her, honestly. Thinking about it. Collective arming cowl. +2 constitution. You know what? I think I might take that. Do we have anything to sell? No, we got like an iron dagger. Yeah, you can have that. And a great sword? I don't think we need anything like that, do we? And a fire crystal? That's worth quite a lot. Ice arrow and fire bolts. Oh yeah, we have all of this. I forgot about this. And blood dragon plate. I could sell. But again, I'm not really going to do that, am I? I'm just going to pretend it doesn't exist. Alright. Armor. There you go. I got +2 constitution now, which should give me a bit more health. Actually, did it? Yeah. Now I have 10 more health, which is nice. 10% upgrade. Now let's see. So Morrigan, you can have that. You look funny. Alright, Alistair, where are you? Alistair. Oh, you can't even use these because you're not strong enough. Right, let's sell all this chainmail. I suppose this chainmail should have... you don't even have a helmet, do you? To fix that. There you go. Yeah, these must be for Sten. Or I could have used them for Sten, but as I don't have Sten... That is worse than mine. I am going to sell them.
You and your friends are formidable folk, indeed. It's good to have you along on the road.
Where's my wares?
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected.
Yeah, a discount. If they're stupidly expensive, I have a discount. So yeah, the great sword we can get rid of. And indeed... You're not getting that much... Oh yeah, heavy chainmail. Yeah, a gold for that. That's kind of nice. Sell them all. Oh, Blood Dragon Blink Gauntlets. So much nice stuff. So much nice stuff. Right then. Alright, let's talk to these guys a little bit more.
Are you sure I can't interest you in this hat? A pair of earrings, perhaps? A cheese knife?
I already bought a hat off you. Alright, small talk first. Any rumours?
There's not just Darkspawn in the Horde, you know that? There are people with them. Folks who are sick with the blight, and their minds are all twisted and mad.
Ooh.
I heard tell of a man meeting his own brother on the field, yet when he called out to him, his brother didn't even recognize him and just attacked. That's what I've heard on the road, anyhow. Take it for what it is.
Alright, maybe we should ask them about their story while they're here. Also, where's the enchanting thing? Well, we'll talk about him first and then worry about the enchanting thing. I don't know whether we can even do that yet.
Well, if you're really interested, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to tell you. I am originally from Orzammar, the famed dwarven city that lies beneath the stately Frostback Mountains. I was a merchant there, too. Merchant caste. These things are in the blood, you know. You can't just leave them behind. I ran a fairly successful business. Rare artifacts, you know. Old things, grand things. The nobles loved them. Reminded them of the lost glory days, I suppose.
Yeah, so why did you leave? Cut to the chase. No, lost glory days of the dwarves? What?
Our kingdoms once spanned the length of Thados, from majestic Orzammar to Kal Sharok to glittering Darmalin far to the west. They say the gold and silver veins ran so thick through the stone of Darmalin that the entire city sparkled. The Darkspawn took it all, of course. One by one, the old tigers fell, and then all that was left was Orzammar. But we were talking about how I ended up here, weren't we? One day, a noble woman came to my store. She looked around for a bit and then started shrieking in dismay. Apparently, she believed that a pair of braces I had for sale once belonged to her brother. He'd been lost in a cave-in, you see, while on an expedition to clear out the Darkspawn from one of the tunnels running close to the city. They were made specially for him. They're unique, she shrieked. He stole them from my poor brother's corpse. She had me arrested on the spot, of course. Nobles, they're touchy like that.
It's just the short version, Multi. Did you steal the gauntlets?
Well, I didn't steal them. You see, I'd been paying these castless thugs to venture out into the deep roads for me. The lost tigers. They're full of things that people left behind. Sometimes you can find a treasure. Something worth a little gold.
Isn't that... it's not stealing. I mean, what? There's no difference... Him paying... I mean, thugs. Okay, you could say thugs. You could say adventurers. Somebody hiring someone to go and get something for you. To get, you know, and then you sell it. There's not much difference in that compared to good old D&D glory days where you'd go in, find lost loot, sell it. So, it's not stealing. Better do something with them than leave them to rot. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, it's not that much different than just selling loot that you find. You just send someone to get loot for you and pay them for it, and then you make a profit off it. That's economics. It works.
That's exactly how I see it. The noblewoman, she wasn't too happy with the theft of her brother's braces. I don't know what they planned for me, and I didn't want to find out. Bribed the guard that was watching me and took off for the surface first opportunity I got. Never looked back.
Yeah, it seems like the woman was quite unreasonable there. I mean, I don't know what the story is here, but perhaps, like, he would have given her the gauntlets, or at least 50% off or whatever, maybe. Quite lucky to have done so well. You are, I suppose, but now you are a fascinating story. Thank you. Now you're here. They're all pretty much the same, so no, here you are.
Yes, here I am. Now, is there anything the boy or I can get you?
You didn't mention your son in the tale.
Ah, yes. I'm married to a fine woman back in Denerim, it's true. She'd give me a son if she could, but that's not likely to ever be. Sandal here. I found him in the deep roads years ago. Abandoned, I think, and he was never quite right in the head. I took him in, and I brought him with me when I came here to the surface. He may not be my blood, true, but I think of him as one.
We left Orzammar.
That's right, boy. Maybe one day we'll see it again.
Generous of you, so I can be like, yeah, that's really nice. Or you got a free helper, you just picked up a slave. Blood isn't all that important. I think I'm going to go with this one, because Verax has been... He's never really lived with his family, but when he grew up in the circle, they weren't really like blood relatives, but they were his family, and I'm sure he loved a lot of people within the circle. So I'm going to say that blood isn't all that important, because that's what he would think.
That's how I've always felt. As long as he's happy, so am I.
Nice.
It's not as if I don't benefit, mind you. Turns out the boy's a natural working with enchantments. He might have even been lyrium-addled. I never thought of that before, to be honest. Happens sometimes. He can work an enchantment into just about anything, however, given some time. Could probably open his own shop, if he knew how.
Enchantment.
Well, he does seem to enjoy it, at least.
Yeah, and the fact that he didn't know that he was good with enchantments when he saved him from the deep roads. Just a bonus, if you like. So I need to talk to him directly. So do your wares come from the deep roads?
Look, we don't rob people, all right? We don't take things from people that need them. The things in the lost tigers, what good did they do lying there? I brought them back to Orzammar, where people could look at them and remember. It's not all that different up here. There are places long abandoned by the humans everywhere. Even more now with the Darkspawn coming.
What do you mean?
People flee from the Blight with good reason, but they forget things. Things with value and meaning. They leave them behind because they're frightened and desperate. And sometimes, my boy and I, we find our way to these places before the Horde descends, and we save these things. I take them away so the Darkspawn don't get them. Is that so bad? They destroy everything they touch.
If I was indeed I am. If I'm playing this game and we come to an area in the wilderness and there's an abandoned house there and there's a chest, you look in the chest, you see like a gold pendant. I wouldn't just leave it there thinking, oh, someone might be coming back for that. It's true, but there's no way that you would just leave it. So, you know, he would totally take it. Like, in Lothering, it was different because I didn't take things from the chest because there were people around and those chests may well belong to some of the people. And plus all those people need it more than me. But in that situation, when there's no one else around, there's not likely to be, and like he says, the Darkspawn destroy everything they touch, so the Darkspawn they come in, that gold pendant is going to be destroyed anyway. Of course I'm going to take it. So, yeah, I think it's forgivable. He is sort of like doing it as an enterprise, like by itself, which is slightly different. But harsh times. He's not a bad person. He's taken this this lad in, and he's making his way through the world as best that he can. And he's not like a bandit or anything. I'm not going to be too harsh on the guy, I don't think. But like I say, you know, the blight won't last forever. But if the blight does like destroy the things that would have destroyed the things that he already took, then there's no point leaving them there. So I'm going to say everyone has to make a living somehow.
That's what I tell myself, too. Ah, these are dark times indeed. Dark times, my friend.
Yeah, okay, right, I should go.
Of course. Good fortune to you and yours.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye, even though I'm just going to talk to you now, Sandal.
Hello.
The boy's a bit simple, but he's rather good with enchantments. One of those tranquil fellas actually called him what was it now? A savant. I had no idea such a thing existed.
Nice, gotta say, nice bodily movements. When he thought of the word savant, he actually like pointed at you, saying a savant. He's like, oh yeah, I got it, it's a savant. Very, very subtle, but very nice. In sort of another game that I'm currently playing, Deus Ex Revolution, the body movements aren't so fluid. They're a bit sort of jerky and a bit like they don't always fit with what the character's saying. There's nothing particularly wrong with it, but it's not quite as natural as say that was, which was like a specific motion for that sentence, which is quite nice. Alright, I want some enchanting done.
Enchantment!
Yes, enchantment. Oh. I have no items to enchant. Well, that's fine. But when I do, I select the item and then drag one of these over to there, and it'll get +2 electricity damage, and I'll probably have to pay a bit for it as well. Indeed, it says there, all enchantable items in the party inventory, including those currently equipped, can be upgraded by an enchanter, so long as you have runes available. Select the item you wish to enchant, and then drag and drop the desired runes to the slots in the item. Yeah, that makes sense. You still have this over you, which is annoying. Why?
Something you need? I'm sure either my boy or I can help you out.
Rumours.
I hear that Tier Logain, the regent, is calling for new levies of troops. He wants to rebuild the army we lost at Astagar. Thing is, there's not a lot of spare men to be found. Out of Dragon's Peak, there's press gangs roaming around, grabbing any free man they can lay their hands on.
Blimey.
That's what I've heard on the road, anyhow. Take it for what it is. Of course. Good fortune to you and yours.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Okay. So there's you as well. I wonder what the difference is between this arrow and this exclamation mark. Feast day gifts. There you go. So if I bought a feast day gift off him, that arrow would probably go away. In fact, let's try that, because I'm not going to use it.
If there's anything I can do
Bought
for you,
as in,
please. I'm sure
you know,
you'll be pleased with the good...
Give me stuff. Alright, so let's buy this Quinary Prayers for the Dead. No, oh there, quest completed. There we go. Feast day gifts. There we go. Feast day pranks. Okay, let's get rid of that
your
as
friends
well.
are formidable folk, indeed. It's good to have you. I'm sure you'll be...
Alright, a prank. Let's find a prank. A thoughtful gift. It's just a thoughtful gift. They all seem... Gift. They're all gifts. I'll leave the pranks. Yep, I can't be bothered. So yeah, I've got... Can I drop stuff? Is that even possible? I think I can. Alright, hang on. Now I have to find the thing that I bought. I don't even know what it was. Other. There we go. Destroy it! Cast it into the fire. There we go. Right then. So, more talking with our party members. A lot of talking in the game. But then if you're watching this LP, I'm sure you can understand that. Let's go and talk to Morrigan first.
What do you wish of me?
Oh, you lost your hat. It's a good thing. Alright, I'd like to ask you something.
If you must.
Alright, let's see. Shape changer. Did you go up in the Kakiri Wilds? Kakiri? Yep. Have you ever been hunted by the Chantry? This is quite relevant to what I'm thinking about in the next area, so I'm going to ask it.
You are very cute to ask so many questions.
Thanks. You are cute and you're evasive. If you don't want to. Alright, so Varric, you know, he is a bit of a rogue, if you like. But the thing is, in the circle, when he was sort of like way back at the start of the LP, when he was sort of flirting-ish with that woman saying the prayers, he was in his element, you know, and he sort of like knew everyone, and he was sort of a Jack the Lad sort of kind of character. Here, out in the world, he's never met anyone like Morrigan before. Morrigan's a very sort of like strong, independent woman, which in the circle, they're all men, at least within the major. I mean, I know like in the temple bit there was women, but he would never really come across someone so like commanding and indeed possibly domineering as Morrigan. So he'd be a bit scared. So of her, I think, a bit what's the word? That's really annoying. Intimidated. So you don't have to answer if you don't want to.
Of course I don't. 'Tis no matter. My mother has been hunted from time to time, yes, by Templar fools like Alistair, which should tell you how successful they generally were. Flemeth made a bit of a game of it, in fact. The Templars would come again, and she would look at me and smile and say that the fun was to begin once more.
Did you find it fun?
I found the game fun. I was too young to understand the truth behind what was happening. Flemeth would warn them once. 'Twas a warning they inevitably failed to heed. And then the true game began. Often Flemeth would use me as bait. A little girl to scream and run and lure the Templars deeper into the wilds and to their doom.
Did you actually use them? Yeah, okay, you used bait?
'Twas a game, and I a young girl. If I didn't get to play, I would have been very upset. Thankfully, the wilds is a vast place. Once they found us, Flemeth would simply move us elsewhere, and we would be lost within the forest once again. I did not understand the danger we faced until I was much older. I had never heard of apostates or maleficarum.
Do you still think it was funny? Yeah, Flemeth sort of like used her a little bit, but she doesn't seem to mind. Do you think that was fun? Do you still think it was a good game?
I think that my mother made it fun so that a child did not learn to fear. And I think that it was necessary.
She's very
There are
pragmatic.
no trials for apostates, no prisons, no mercy. There are only absolutes, so only survival matters. If the wilds have taught me anything, 'tis this. First, you must survive. Do you disagree?
I get the feeling that once you have a conversation with someone and then we come to this, do you agree or disagree? And if you agree, then they'll like you more. If you disagree, then they'll disapprove type thing. So you have to do what you can to survive with what she's saying. Do I agree with that? It's a pathetic justification. I think she's probably right. I don't really have the experience to disagree. Really, you're probably right. You know, even though there are certain things like banditry and murder and such, which you probably shouldn't resort to. Which, you know, again, but that's not one of the choices. So you're probably right.
An interesting answer for a mage. Enough of this talk. Let us return to the task at hand.
She approves +2. Yeah, because I was sort of like lukewarm. So that makes sense.
What do you wish of me?
Alright, I want to see this helmet I'm wearing as well. Alright, let's go to something personal now.
We are in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any.
Indeed. Why are you still here? Alright, go on then.
I am here because Flemeth commanded me to aid you. Why? Do you wish me to leave? I can do so if you prefer.
Touchy subject. No, I don't want you to leave. Do you want to leave? I don't really want to leave because she's quite useful. And I quite like her. As a player and probably as a character as well, even though my character would be like, find it difficult to say that. No, I don't need to leave.
Then I assume our discussion ends here.
Whoa. Should not have gone into the personal stuff that soon. Oops. Alright, this helmet... Well, helmet. This thing looks okay. It looks a bit better. Yeah, she's not happy with us. She is not happy with us. Yep. Down, down, down. Oops. Alright then. Well, let's have a word with Alistair and... Oh, there you go. Now it's gone. No, it's back. The stupid bloody arrow. Liliana, we haven't really spoken to her much.
Yes?
I think you should go. I'd like to talk.
Well, here I am.
Yes, here you are. Alright, small talk first. What was life like in the Chantry Cloister? What would someone like you be doing in Lord of the Rings Chantry? No, let's ask that one. Small talk.
Quiet. It was a life suited for contemplation. In the cloister, away from the fuss and the flurry of the cities, I found peace. And in that stillness, I could hear the Maker. But it was not perfect. Some of my Chantry fellows were condescending. That is the nature of religious folk, I suppose.
That's why I'm not particularly fond of... No, I'm kind of a vaguely religious guy myself. Being raised as I am, I'm probably like a believer in the Maker and such because the temple was the Chantry was a big part of the circle life. So, how condescending? How so?
When I talked about my beliefs, that the Maker reveals himself in the beauty of his world, they treated me with disdain. They want to believe that he's gone, so that when he turns his gaze on them, it means they are special, chosen. He cannot possibly have love for all, the sick and the weary, the beggars and the fools.
So what did you say to them?
What can I say to them? What they believe is what the Chantry says, and the Chantry is infallible, yes? Maybe I am wrong. But it is the Maker's place to decide if I am worthy, not men, not the Chantry. But there is work to be done, and I have talked enough for now.
Have you? I disagree.
Yes?
I would like to talk
Well, here I am.
about more, like this vision you had, for example. I do agree with her, with the Maker sort of theory she's got.
I knew this would come up sooner or later. I don't know how to explain, but I had a dream. In it, there was an impenetrable darkness. It was so dense, so real. And there was a noise, a terrible, ungodly noise. I stood on a peak and watched as the darkness consumed everything. And when the storm swallowed the last of the sun's light, I fell. And the darkness drew me in.
So, it's just a dream. Why say it's a vision? Yeah, because it was about the Blight, but everyone was dreaming about the Blight. It's on people's minds. It is actually destroying the world and all, so you are going to have like a little bit of... It's going to be in your mind when you fall asleep, isn't it? So, who say it's a vision and not just a dream?
I have had dreams. This was different somehow. When I woke, I went to the Chantry's gardens, as I always do. But that day, the rose bush in the corner had flowered. Everyone knew that bush was dead. It was grey and twisted and gnarled, the ugliest thing you ever saw. But there it was, a single beautiful rose. It was as though the Maker stretched out his hand to say, even in the midst of this darkness, there is hope and beauty. Have faith.
Right, so you had a dream about the blight and then went outside and saw a flower. Gonna be kind of skeptical here. Gonna be kind of skeptical. Did you... Did you hear voices?
No, not voices.
No.
It's not so simple. He spoke directly to my soul, in a language no human tongue can express. There are so many good things in the Maker's world. How can I sit by while the blight devours everything?
If the blight is the Maker's punish, will you defy him? That's a nice thing. Yeah, okay, we'll do that. Although it seems a bit too like religious, I suppose. No, I'm gonna say it. I'd rather put if the blight is the Maker's punishment rather than that. I suppose I couldn't sit by either. Well, that's true enough. I wasn't allowed. I'm kind of wanting to go with this one, but it seems like too much of a religious fundamentalist sort of thing to say for my character, so I'm not going to. I'm going to go with a religious sort of twist on things, though, and say Chantry says the Maker has left us.
He's still here. I hear him in the wind and the waves. I feel him in the sunlight that warms my skin. I know what the Chantry says about the Maker, and what should I believe? What I feel in my heart, or what others tell me?
I'm going to say believe what feels right to you.
Thank you. It's nice to find someone who agrees. I know what I know, and no one will ever make that untrue.
It's not like oh good, she approves. It's not like I specifically agree with what she says. I think that my character will sort of see Liana as a bit addled, I suppose. I'm going to be quite protective of her. I brought her under my wing and all that, and she seems... I don't really believe that the dream and the rosebush constitute a vision to stop the blight. But she's, she's a good person. Her heart's in the right place. But I'm probably going to, look after her a bit. That's going to be my my character's sort of dealings with her. I want to keep her safe in sort of a big brothery sort of way, I believe. Hi, Alistair.
What do you need?
Ask you something?
Ask away.
I want to ask about... Alright, this is quite a lot of things. So what can a Templar do? What exactly? Go on then, we'll go through all these, I think.
Essentially, they're trained to fight. The Chantry would tell you that the Templars exist simply to defend. But don't let them fool you. They're an army. The other main purpose for a Templar is, of course, to hunt mages. To that end, we train in talents that drain mana and disrupt spells.
So Templars use magic themselves? Talents. Maybe not the same thing, but we'll try it anyway.
You could call it that, sure. The Chantry doesn't look on it the same way, however, since really our talents only work on mages. Against a regular person, I'm just a guy in a metal suit.
So couldn't others learn these talents?
Perhaps, but there usually isn't much of an opportunity. The Chantry keeps a close rein on its Templars. We are given lyrium to help develop our magical talents, you see. Which means we become addicted. And since the Chantry controls the lyrium trade with the dwarves, well, I'm sure you can put two and two together.
So it is pretty horrible. It's an excellent method of control. Just keep it personal. So you were addicted?
Thankfully, no. You only start receiving lyrium once you've taken your vows. You don't need lyrium in order to learn the Templar talents. Lyrium just makes Templars' talents more effective. Or so I was told. Maybe it doesn't even do that. The Chantry usually doesn't let their Templars get away either, so they can spread their secrets. I'm a bit of an exception. Lucky me.
More.
What do you need?
Ask you something
away.
about can you teach others to be a Templar? I have no interest in being a Templar. Tell me about the Grey Wardens. This is sort of relevant since that's what we are.
Such as they are.
Okay, lot of things here. Lot of things. Where are the nearest Grey Wardens from here?
That's a good question. There's plenty in Orlais, but who knows where they might be found. And the nearest Orlesian city is weeks away. If we go north and cross the sea, there's bound to be some in the Free Marches. Again, however, I just don't know where. I don't know anything about Grey Wardens in other lands.
And is there a headquarters anywhere out there?
Here in Ferelden, there's our compound in Denerim at the palace, but that's it. Loghain will have control over that and be watching it, no doubt.
Yeah.
Beyond that, the only place I know of is Weishaupt Fortress. That's the headquarters of all Grey Wardens in the Anderfells, 1,000 miles from here. But I've no idea how to even contact them.
Yeah.
So unless we try to get back to the compound in Denerim, I suppose the answer is no. There's nowhere for us to go.
So what happens now that there's just two of us? That follows on quite nicely.
I imagine that eventually the Grey Wardens outside of Ferelden will wonder what's happened. Why there's no contact from Duncan or someone.
Shut up, Bounder.
They'll send someone eventually. Though who knows what Loghain's people in Denerim will tell them. Maybe they won't send anyone.
Grim.
We could try to contact them. But that would mean leaving Ferelden, and even if we did, they couldn't come back with us in time to stop the Blight. So that means whatever happens, it's up to us.
Yeah, very good. Very good. I'm not going to worry about start rebuilding the Order just... Well, actually... Yeah, let's ask that.
I mean, eventually we would have to use the joining to make more Grey Wardens, right? But I don't know how to do the joining, or what's involved. I know it involves lyrium and some other magic, and that it's really difficult to prepare, but that's it. Unless we can find out more about the joining, I guess we better get used to the idea that there might only be two of us for now. Until more come from elsewhere.
I'm not going to ask that. What happened if we just left? Because then the world would be doomed forever and stuff. No more questions.
About the Grey Wardens, anyhow.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I was just about to say that. I want to ask you something else.
Ask away.
About how did you become a Grey Warden? Getting into sort of his personal experience now. Maybe we should talk about how he was raised, and then get into the Grey Warden, because that's going to be the order that it's going to come in, isn't it? So, yeah, you said Al Eamon raised you?
Oh, did I say that? I meant that dogs raised me. Giant slobbering dogs from the Anderfells. A whole pack of them, in fact.
That would have been... that must have been tough for them. Let's not remember... Alright, we're not going to do that. I mean, I like that, but we're not going to do it. That would explain the smell. Again, no. It's not what I remember. And I think I'm going to be quite reasonably sort of serious when it comes to this sort of thing. Not what I remember you telling Flemeth.
Well, if you're going to go and pay attention to the facts, then fine. Let's see, how do I explain this? I'm a bastard. And before you make any smart comments, I mean the fatherless kind. My mother was a serving girl in Redcliffe Castle who died when I was very young. Al Eamon wasn't my father, but he took me in anyhow and put a roof over my head. He was good to me, and he didn't have to be. I respect the man, and I don't blame him anymore for sending me off to the Chantry once I was old enough.
No, it makes sense. Do you know who is? But you blamed him then, I take it. I don't understand why he sent him off to the Chantry. I'm going to ask it anyway, but I think I know.
Al Eamon eventually married a young woman from Orlais, which caused all sorts of problems between him and the king because it was so soon after the war. But he loved her.
Bounder!
Anyhow, then you, Arlessa, resented the rumours which pegged me as his bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Arl didn't care, but she did. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10. Just as well. The Arlessa made sure the castle wasn't a home to me by that point. She despised me.
Pretty, yeah. Pretty spiteful. Wasn't it inappropriate for the Arl to raise an orphan? I guess it was.
Probably. It was just a kindness he did to a woman who had served him anyway. I didn't sleep on silk sheets in the keep or anything. I remember I had an amulet. with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. I was so furious at being sent away, I tore it off and threw it at the wall and it shattered. Stupid, stupid thing to do. The Jarl came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there, and blamed him for everything. And eventually, he just stopped coming.
You sure it isn't your father? You were young.
And raised my dogs. Or I may as well have been, the way I acted. But maybe all young bastards act like that. I don't know. All I know is that the Jarl is a good man, and well loved by the people. He also was King Caelan's uncle, so he has a personal motivation to see Loghain pay for what he did. Anyway, that's really all there is to the story.
Codex updated. His mother was a servant girl who died when Alistair was very young. He was raised by Eamon Gwaring, Jarl of Redcliffe, for a time. The Jarl's wife, her, suspected the reason for her husband took the interest in the welfare of the servant's child was that Alistair was Eamon's son. She insisted the boy sent away to the chantry. And enchanting? Yeah. Interesting, Alistair. Very interesting. And Bounder.
Oh, why, you little...
Ah. You're harassing my dog.
Me? Harassing your dog? I should say it's the other way round. Your furry friend here took offence at me getting near his food. He snapped at me, look.
Ah, bad dog. Goodbye. That's a lesson. Okay, I like this. Hardly able, John. Just a warning. He could have had your hand off. He could have. He could have.
Don't you think I don't know it? Sometimes I forget that he's a war dog. That'll teach me.
Yeah, Alistair approves of Bounder. That's nice. Oh, that was kind of neat. All right. And that was a nice little roundup of all the characters. I think I'm going to stop it now. That was a little brief session for me. Not a lot happened in terms of gameplay. I just talked to a lot of people, but I have heard that there's a lot of talking in this game, and I should talk to people at the camp, and so I'm talking to people at the camp. So a few episodes there of chatting to my NPCs. Found a lot of interesting things about them. Morrigan, aloof as ever, does not. She's falling out with me a little bit. We're protective of Lyanna, and Alistair is our friend and comrade, as indeed is Bounder, who I think I will be using a little bit more, because, you know, we seem to be neglecting a little bit of Bounder, yes. But I'm going to decide what I'm going to be doing. Yeah, there's the world map where we'll be going to next, but I'm going to leave that till next I play, so thank you for watching, hope you're enjoying. And, yes, onwards to adventure.